Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Johanna and welcome to my cozy book space. So for today's reading vlog, I'm going to be starting my Wraith Kings read-along reading vlog. That's a mouthful, but there is a read-along for the Wraith Kings series by Grace Draven going on right now. The live show, I believe, is in like a week or like 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. I don't know, here soon. But I thought this was perfect because I had been wanting to read Grace Draven for the longest time, and I thought this would be the perfect opportunity. It's also hosted by a lot of lovely booktubers, which I will link down below in the description box. And yeah, I really wanted to participate because Grace Draven does a lot of like fantasy monster romances. I don't even know what genre these books are, but the books in this read along are Radiance by Grace Draven, Eldolon by Grace Draven. I'm not sure how to say that, but I tried. And third book is The Ippos King by Grace Draven. The first two books are about the same couple, and then the third book is about a different couple. I don't know if the series is going to continue. I'm honestly not sure, but I'm excited to dive right in. I've had this ebook on my Kindle for the longest time, and I'm just so excited to finally get to it, and I'm really craving like a otherworld romance right now. So if you guys want to see my thoughts and reviews for these three books, then go ahead and keep on watching. Hopefully there was some b-roll in between my last clip and this clip because I'm literally in the same spot. But I got a package yesterday and I wanted to open it up on camera with you guys. I think I know what it is, but I'm also not sure. It's a big one too. So let's open it. I do think that it's my Pam Godwin times Eternal Embers box. This is, I believe, the Deliver Us series. They did a restock for it and I absolutely bought it because the first time that it went on sale, I really wanted to get it, but I was unable to. And then everybody was selling it on Mercari for like so much money and I was just like, I'm not gonna get it, and I haven't read it, but then they restocked it. And so now it's here and I hope it's this. Honestly, when they restocked it, I didn't know if they were gonna do the full box or if it was just, honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know, y'all. The not safe for work art. Me, you guys could see it this whole time. I'm so dead, but yeah, yeah, I'm excited. Okay, let me open this because I'm confusion. I thought they were just gonna be the books, but I think it's more than that, and I am excited. We have this dark romance little card, which I think it's absolutely beautiful. I will definitely be using this in my reading journal. And then since I can't show you guys the not safe for work art, there is a little postcard here that tells you what's featured in this book box, as well as there is a not safe for work overlay guide on the back to tell you where these overlays go in the book. But I'm going to show you guys the guide because on the guide, if there are like any spicy bits, they're covered. And so if you guys want to know, this is what it looks like. Okay, you got the idea. I'm glad that they included this though, because I always am so frustrated when I don't know where these page overlays go. So that's nice. There's also a card from the author, which I want to read. Joshua is the name of the hero in this book. And this letter just was beautiful and it was crazy. I knew that this series was about human sex trafficking, and I knew that it was about a heroine that steals this man, and he is like your typical jock, blonde, blue-eyed, I think, or not. He definitely has black hair. Jesus Christ. Yep. Wait, then who is that? I'm so confused. Okay, well, most of these, the girl has black hair, but there's two of them. One has blonde hair, one has red hair. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, it has to do with this woman, and she steals this, she human traffics this man. I believe he's a very religious man. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. But yeah, she human traffics him because I guess this is what she's been trained to do, and she was human trafficked herself, and this is like their love story. So I know it's gonna be dark, and it's gonna be brutal, and there's gonna be a lot of trigger warnings, but it is Pam Godwin, so I knew this already, and I have a feeling that I'm going to fall in love with this series anyways, and I just know that it's going to be beautiful. So anyways, let's move on to the box because I feel like I've been talking forever. There's black paper. There's this. Wow, that's so pretty. It's like a knife. Well, it's a sword. And it has like this black gem right there. Is this supposed to be like a letter opener? That is so cute. It's giving fantasy. Putting that back in its pouch. That's super cute, by the way. I love that. I see there's this on the side. I think this might be the candle. There was a candle in here, you guys. They packaged that so well. The Devil and Dark Romance. That's so cool. Let's see what it smells like. It's red glitter. That's so cool. Not at all what I thought it was gonna smell like. You know what it smells like? It smells like Clean Man. Kind of foresty. Clean, mountain, fresh air. Yeah, that smells really, really good. And I guess now for the books. Oh, there's more. There was these bookends. How gorgeous. I need to create a dark romance shelf. A whole bookcase of dark romance. Because how stunning are these bookends? Wow, I'm flabbergasted. These are definitely gonna sit with these books. This is just gorgeous. I love when we get like other stuff besides the books that is like practical, you know, like the candle, she's cute because I'm definitely gonna burn that. The tarot card, I'm not gonna use it as a tarot card, but I like it because it's like something that I can use for like my journaling purposes. The sword, that's a cute little letter opener. I can use it to open letters, or I can use it for like a prop when I do like Instagram photos. This is the entirety of it. Oh my god, this is a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Let me take the plastic off. I knew that this series had multiple books in it because whenever I would see this series on Amazon, they have like omnibuses as well, which are absolutely gorgeous, by the way. They were thick, and I know that it's like, I think there's like 3 books per omnibus, so it's quite a journey, I will say. I love the matte. I love Eternal Embers. They just really do it. So here it is, the Deliver series by Pam Godwin. This slipcase is so gorgeous. Here are the spines of the book. Oh my god. And this is the other side. Wow. Yeah. One of the sides, oh, it's just quotes. So I want to read them. I just know I'm going to love it. Okay, it says, you don't really know someone until you see them in the dark. You're my life, mi vida. There's a little bit of Spanish in here. Is this like a reverse harem? Is this not just an MF? Is this MMFFF or something? You guys, am I gonna read this soon? No, because we're supposed to be reading Radiance. Okay, you guys, I can't wait to put this on my shelf. I think I'm going to put this on my fantasy shelf. Unless I put it like on the top of these shelves. I don't know. I'm thinking ahead. Okay, let's take these books out because I just know they're gonna be gorgeous. Oh my god, they're thick. Okay, I don't even know how this is. First of all, the edges, they match. That is so cool. And then the bottom and the top are black, which I don't mind because everything has been so beautiful. I don't know which one's which. I don't know which one goes first, y'all, to be honest. Wait, so did they not match when I first showed them to you guys? Or do they not match now? To be honest, I don't know. But it makes sense that they're like this because it literally says, deliver us from evil into temptation. So I think that's how it goes. So I'm going to see Deliver Us first. Okay, so here's the first book. This is the interior, which I don't hate. They are signed. Yeah, he was like a football player. See? This is the other chapter header. Honestly, gorgeous. I need to put the overlays in here, but I'll do that here in a second. This is the From Evil one. Just stunning. Stunning. This is the end papers. Chapter art is different. Oh, this one's hot. Look at that. I think this might be an MMF or maybe an MFM. Girl, I don't know. You tell me. But yeah, those are the chapter headings. This is Into Temptation. This is the interior for this one. This one got some color in it. It is signed as well. This is the chapter art. This is like a pair of handcuffs. This is the other one. I'm guessing they changed because of the different POVs. I'm going to go ahead and take a second to add these overlays, but thank you guys for watching this little random ass unboxing. I know this unboxing has nothing to do with this reading vlog because I'm going to be reading the Wraith King series, but I got this package and I wanted to unbox it with you guys, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Next time you guys see me, I will give you guys a 20% update on Radiance by Grace Draven. I'm super excited. Hi friends, happy Wednesday. I am here to give you guys an update on Radiance by Grace Draven. I have been reading it on my Kindle. I love this. Honestly, I'm not even surprised about how much I'm loving this. I am loving this so much that I started last night. I started this last night and I'm already on chapter 20, 79% of the way through. I know. I told you guys I was gonna give you guys an update. There's a hair on my face. I was gonna give you guys an update at the 20% mark, but I just couldn't stop reading. I really truly could not stop reading. I couldn't. So if my lipstick's messed up, don't mind that. Okay, so basic premise. Let me go to my annotations because I've been annotating. Our heroine, she is a human woman with red hair, pale skin, beautiful woman in the eyes of the Wari. Is that what they're called? Yes, because she's from Gar, Gaur, but the people are called Gari. Girl, it's a fantasy romance. There's different names and shit in here. So, but yes, she is a human woman and she is arranged to marry our hero Brishan. He is from the Kai race. He looks exactly what he looks like on the cover. He is gray. He has like black claws and his eyes are like, think supernatural demon eyes. Okay, all black. And then we have our human woman who looks like a human, and they are arranged to be married because the Gari are essentially not at war, but they have like this animosity with this other king, and the only way to get to them is either going through like this dangerous area or going through like a passage through the Kai territory. And so the Gari formed this arranged marriage with the Kai. That way, you know, there's no war. The Kai are loyal to the Gari and the enemies can't go through the Kai territory essentially. So they are arranged to be married, and I love me an arranged marriage. It just gives all of the forced proximity goodness, and I truly love the fact that Grace Draven gave us a meeting between our heroine and Kai right at the beginning. Before they even knew who each other was, they met each other and they had the best banter kind of, and like the best conversation. I truly love, and I mean this is said by every review that I've read about this book or heard about this book, that they truly find each other unattractive. Like they think they are ugly. Brishan thinks that Ildiko is ugly as hell, and Ildiko thinks that Brishan is ugly as hell as well. Like they are frightened of each other, and it is done so well because they kind of use this as like a joking matter between them. It kind of breaks the ice, and I loved that so much. Everything just felt so natural. I also will say once he kind of finds out that Ildiko is going to be his wife, he immediately is kind of like relieved about the fact. They get married and they just have this like camaraderie, I don't know how to say the word. English is not my first language. They just have this connection that is so easy and flows so easily. And I will say this book has had me laughing out loud so many times, especially between our hero and our heroine, because it truly is that Brishan is scared and gets frightened by Ildiko, and she like sometimes does it on purpose. It's the thing like with her eyes because they're so different. I just love them, and I've just been entertained the whole time. And I will say that the world building is not difficult at all to get into. I will say that Grace Draven's writing wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Not that it's not beautiful, I just think that in the beginning it was hard for me to get into because of the way that she writes. Like we'll be in a chapter, right, and we'll be in the present moment, but then she'll have a flashback and it'll be its whole entire scene, and then she'll kind of come back to the present, and then we'll continue from there, if that makes sense. It's not set as a flashback, but she's like, for example, she's watching Brishan fight, watching him train, and she's thinking about the night before, and then we get that scene. Like we don't miss out on that scene, but it's like it's not present day when we learn about it, if that makes sense. Hopefully that made sense. So that's the only thing that it was kind of hard for me to get used to. Not hard for me to get used to, but it was different than what I thought I was going to get. But I will say I do love it, just for the simple fact that I love that we get the scenes and we get the details. And I will say this is definitely a slow burn. We don't get any smutty scenes until past the 50% mark, and I feel like smutty is not the right word because the way that they love each other is so beautiful and just so meant to be that I feel like smutty is not the right word. But it is so good. The build-up between them was done so well. I love how it was a friends to lovers romance. They truly became friends before they became lovers. I loved seeing them individually kind of slowly fall in love with each other despite the fact of how they look. They started finding these scary, fearful attributes endearing and beautiful within each other, and it was just so perfect to watch. And there's a lot of scenes in here that I loved. I mean, they are together, they do travel on horseback, which I loved. He is so protective of her. He cares about her truly. He loves her mind. He loves the way that she is and the way that she carries herself, and she is so smart. Like, I love that our heroine, first of all, our heroine, yes, I love her because she knew what her duty was and she knew what her life was in the Gari territory, in like her home. She is the daughter of the king's sister that has passed away, and so she was just a high noble woman. She wasn't high enough on the hierarchy to be married off elsewhere, so she was given to the Kai. But I loved how she was frightful, but she knew what she was getting herself into, and she wasn't like a weak heroine in any way. I loved seeing her grow to be Bershan's wife and kind of fully come into herself and her duty to the Kai people. And I love how much she stands up for herself, especially against Bershan's mother. That whole scene and like the feast and stuff, that was, first of all, so funny because Bershan hates human food. And it is so funny. Also, just seeing her like not bend to somebody's will and like hold her own and know her place and know that she is the queen that she is. I loved seeing it so much. And with Bershan, I love that he is a warrior, but he is also a leader, and he was never going to be king. He is the younger brother. His oldest brother is next to be king, and his older brother already has like 7-8 children, so he was never going to be next up in line to be king, and he was fine with that. But again, like, they weren't, both of these characters weren't high up in class, but they weren't low class. They were kind of right in the middle, and they kind of just met in the middle. Yeah, I just love his attitude. He is just a true gentleman. He is worthy. They are both worthy of each other, and it is so good. It's so good. I love how much Bershan like takes care of Ildiko. Like, it's just so precious to watch. Let me see some of my highlights and see if I can give you guys some more, because I feel like for being 80% of the way in, I didn't really give much. But I will say this book is a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. I'm pretty sure it's less than 300 pages, and their story does continue into Eldalon. Oh, as for side characters, I really love Bershan's cousin, because I know now that she is the one that gets the third book in the series, and now I know who the hero is in the third book with the cousin. And I am just so ready. It's going to be so good. I already know. And it's like reversal here, because the guy, the hero, is going to be the human male, and the heroine is going to be a Kai. So I am just so excited for the third book. I can't wait to finish this one, to start the second one, to start the third one. So I'm just overall really loving it. It's just so good. It's just so good. I really love like the Kai traditions, especially with like their fallen. I really loved seeing that. It's very emotional, and also getting to see Bershan's emotional side, the thing with the sister and how horrible his mom is, and how the king doesn't really care, and they just care about each other. And it's really honestly the little things, especially with Bershan and Ildiko, like the little things that he does for her and her comfort is just, I eat it up every single time. Like, you will get me with the little things, and it's the little things that got me. It got me. At the point that I'm at now, it's like they finally became lovers, and it was so good. Like, I didn't know Grace Draven had it like that, but she does it in a way that is like so good and so beautiful at the same time, if that makes sense. And some of the things that Bershan says, girl. Oh, and Ildiko too. She be saying stuff. I be like, the one where she's like, what will I teach you? And he's like, patience, endurance. Oh, girl, you know what? Read this book. If you've been needing a sign, read it, because it's there. This is your sign. This is actually mandatory reading as of right now. So yes, It's so good. But yeah, anyways, I guess that's my update for now. 15 minutes is long enough. I am loving it, you guys. I can't get enough. I literally was binge reading this morning, but I stopped myself because I was like, girl, you're 80% of the way in. You need to update the vlog. But this is okay because there's gonna be 3 books in this reading vlog, and so it's not that long. Maybe I'll do like 2 updates for each book. I think that's cool. But next time I talk to you guys, I will have finished Radiance, and I will let you guys know my rating and my final thoughts, and we'll be starting Eldalan. Hi friends, happy Friday. I am here to do a quick little update. I'm actually on my way out the door to go get my pedicure. I'm literally wearing shorts and it snowed last night. It snowed last night and I'm still shook. I'm so shook because the whole week it's been like in the 50s and there was no warning whatsoever that we were gonna get snow. But we did, and that's what I woke up to, which was crazy. And now I'm in shorts to go get my pedicure. So I don't like to wear like jeans or leggings or sweats because like I'm gonna get a pedicure and they usually go all the way up to my knees, and so it's a whole hassle. But anyways, besides the point, I finished Radiance, and upon like right after I finished it, I ended up giving it 4 stars because I truly loved the book. But I think I gave it 4 stars because I didn't want to give it a 5 stars as of yet, because their romance, their story, the plot does not end until book 2. So I usually do that with like fantasy series in general when they have to do with the same couple. Because we don't get the HEA, I feel like I can't give it a 5 star yet because there's more to happen. You know what I mean? So I give 4 stars because I truly loved it, and I'm already about like 50% of the way into Eidolon. I literally am eating this up. I started it last night, but like I was falling asleep so quick last night. Like it was 7:30 and I was editing a video because I was like, let me at least get some editing done. And girl, I was falling asleep. While I was editing, and I was like, oh my god, why am I so tired? It's not like I woke up super early the day before. But anyways, besides the point, I passed out last night and I didn't get that much done, and then I woke up this morning and I stayed in bed for about like 3 hours reading Eidolon. But yeah, I think the last update that I had given you guys about Radiance, I was telling you guys how much I loved it and how much I loved their romance, which that still stands. I will say that we did get a little bit more of like action towards the end of Radiance, which makes sense because we needed to kind of set up the next book. We do have a scene where it breaks my heart because I mean it doesn't like, I mean there are other scenes that have happened in the second book that breaks my heart even more, but there was a point where Brishan and Ildiko got separated because it was like they were like under attack, and that whole scene was just bonkers. And then having Sevrok, is that his name, Sevrok? I might be wrong. He ended up rescuing Ildiko and basically the cousin and Hewisit. Girl, I don't know. Some of these names, like they're cool, but I can't remember them, and then I can't say them, so then I feel like I don't remember them correctly. Yeah, so all of that went down, and then Brishan ended up having to get rescued, and he ended up being tortured. My poor hero. He is now a scarred hero, so you know, if you're into that, another reason to pick up this book. So we ended it kind of like on a happy for now, and then the last chapter in Radiance set up the next book where Brishan's mother, Skemies, she is literally the devil. She is the worst of the worst, okay? And she used her magic to kind of unleash these demons into the world. And that's kind of how it ends. And then we pick up in Eidolon from there. So I will say, I just loved Radiance so much because it is the basis of their romance. And I loved seeing that, and the plot was entertaining. And I loved meeting the side characters. But yeah, 4 stars for the first book. But honestly, depending on the way that this book ends, which I think I'm going to eat up, I'm going to end up giving both of them 5 stars at the end. But I am really looking forward to the third book, not gonna lie. These books are not on KU, which I know it is tragic, but when I tell you that it is so worth it, after I finished, I can't remember if I got Radiance for free. I think I got Radiance for free because it was free at some point, or like it was super low of a price, and so I got it. And then after I finished Radiance, I went to go download Eidolon and the Epos King, but I realized that they weren't on KU, and I was like, oh my god, they're not on KU. So I had to buy them, but it was like $10 for both of the ebooks, which is not bad because I am loving these books. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know. So again, 4 stars for the first book, probably will go back and give it 5 stars. Now to talk about Eidolon, the names now make sense, especially for the second book. Okay, so we have this POV of this nursemaid. I think that's what she is. She is taking care of this baby at the castle where Skemmy's, Bershan's mother, let loose the demons, and we kind of get her POV. I mean, everything is in third POV, but we get like her POV and then a royal guard's POV and then this other like guard POV as they travel to where Bershan and Ildiko are, because they are like on their way to like warn them, but also because they have the last living queen. So Bershan and Ildiko don't know this. This is completely different from what Ildiko and Bershan are going through. They're kind of living like happily ever after right now, and then they kind of get the news of this man who ran away from the kingdom, who pulled up to Bershan's town. I can't remember what it's called, you guys, I'm so sorry. But this, with fantasy, it's so hard to explain, which I will say that when I first jumped into Radiance, I just thought that this was gonna be another monster romance. I mean, I knew it was fantasy because I knew that he was like of another species, but I didn't know that this was gonna be like a fantasy romance. Like, there is world building in here, but it's like everything is so easy to understand and the characters are just lovable, and Ildiko has grown stronger since the first book. Bershan is still that guy, and we've gotten a little bit more of Bershan's cousin and Bershan's friend together. They were happy. There was this one scene where he just like flirts with her and it makes her so mad, and I love that dynamic. And I feel like if you've read this, you know. But yeah, I'm just loving it so far. With the plot, we just have like that side quest happening, and then we have Bershan coming to terms of that he is now standing king. Oh, you guys, I know I'm going all over the place, but it's so good because he has to become a king now. He has to have an heir, but he and Ildiko cannot produce. Like, they can't have babies. So Ildiko, right when she like found out this news of the, what are they called? Like gallows? Are they called gallows? I don't think so. The demons. Bershan and Ildiko found out about the demons and that nobody survived. She knew immediately that she would have to like let go of Bershan. Like, she would not be able to have him because she knew that he would become king and that he would need to produce heirs. And she kind of holds this within herself because obviously Bershan has a lot of on his shoulders and she didn't want to add more burden. And it's so heartbreaking. Literally a knife to the chest. Literally kill me now. But when he finds out, because of the higher power sorceress who comes down, the one with the mortem light and like the memory keeping, the goddess, she's kind of like a goddess. She comes down and tells him like he needs to become a wraith king, which is the only way to defeat the demons, which the Wraith King series, it makes so much more sense now. When she tells him like, oh, you will have to renounce Ildiko, it's because you have to marry a Kai woman. And he's like, absolutely not. And it is so good. Like, that whole scene, it must be like chapter 7 or chapter 6, I don't know. It happens pretty soon in the book. You guys, what he says in that moment, oh my god, I am on my knees for this man. This is the man that I want, okay? Oh my god, like the words that were coming out of this man's mouth, he was like, I will not renounce you. You are my wife. Let me get myself together. You guys have to read this. This is so good. Like, it's so bingeable, so like page turning. Like, I can't put this down. And I wanted to do this update because I'm gonna go get my toes done, and you best believe I'm going to be reading this book because I'm gonna bring my Kindle with me. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else, and I feel like I'm just giggling and screaming on the inside. And I do have to get going, but I will try and make notes on my phone while I continue to read. That way I can give you guys a little bit more of a precise update. Just with fantasy romance, I also like don't want to spoil much, you know, because it's entertaining. The plot is there. Like, I'm really trying to figure out how they're gonna be able to do this, how he's going to have to become the Wraith King, and then Serovik, he has to become a Wraith King as well, how that's gonna play into the third book. And I just really want their HEA. I have a theory of how Ildiko and Bershan are gonna be able to stay together, but I'm not sure. But I just want to see how everything unravels, and I'm just so excited. I'm literally chomping at the bit. Like, I want to keep reading. I want to know how this ends. And again, I just thought this was gonna be a regular like monster romance, but this is like truly a fantasy romance. It is slow burn perfection. It is friends to lovers perfection, and it is so good. If you need a reason to pick up the first book, this is it. this is it. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave you guys there, and I'm gonna go get my toes done, continue reading, and then I will be back with an update. Maybe when I finish Eidolon, or maybe before that. I'm not sure because I just keep reading and I don't know how to stop. So I will talk to you guys later. Hi friends, I'm here to do an update on Eidolon by Grace Draven. So I have finished Eidolon and therefore finished the Radiance duet. I'm calling them a duet because the plot and the romance doesn't finish until Eidolon. So I ended up after finishing Eidolon, I ended up going back to Radiance and rating that book 5 stars. And then I ended up rating Eidolon 4 stars. The reason why I did that is because in Radiance, we get a lot more of the romance and not as much of the plot. And we get just like the overall build-up, their first meeting, their connection, just their whole relationship, them slowly falling in love, which I ate up every single bit. I could not put that book down. And then with Eidolon, I could not put that down. Literally, like the first, I can't even remember when I gave you guys an update. Wasn't I already like 80% of the way in? At least 50% past, okay? I loved that one so much too, but not as much as the first one, because in the second one, the romance is not as prevalent and the plot is. And the plot is entertaining. I was thoroughly in it. We had like 2 different side plots happening at the same time that then like kind of connect towards the end. And I loved seeing Brishan kind of go through that hardship and that kind of like battle that he had to do and the sacrifices that he had to make. And I loved seeing Ildiko be there for him and be like a stand-in queen and just kind of take some of that burden from Brishan. And I loved seeing how much they supported each other and how much they were there for each other. And I will say that romance is a little bit more prominent in the beginning of Eidolon because there's this issue that comes up, and I just loved that whole like groveling and like that tension that Ildiko and Brishan had because of said problem. I loved everything that Brishan had said and how he stood his ground and how much he just absolutely loved Ildiko and he would not give her up. Yeah, I just loved them together, and I did love the plot as well, but because the romance wasn't as prevalent in the second book, I ended up giving... My fridge is open. Give me a second. Okay. And so, yeah, I gave Eidolon 4 stars and Radiance 5 stars. Radiance is 5 stars to the max. I love that book so much. And now to talk about the Ippos King. So the Ippos King is a fantasy romance as well. It takes place in the same world. We do get to see Brishan and Ildiko kind of at the beginning, but after that, we have Anhuset, which is, I think, how you say her name. I'm sorry. And we have Sarovek. This is their romance. And we kind of get to see their romance kind of build a little bit. Like, we get to see their interactions in Radiance and Eidolon. So I was really, really excited for the Ippos King because I wanted to see how their relationship would be, and I had just been loving all the snippets that we were getting in the first 2 books. So with this one, we do have a different plot. It kind of stems a little bit with the ending of Eidolon, with what happens with one of the characters. So we basically have Sarovek. He is basically High Lord of this region that borders Brishan's territory. The king of Sarovek, he hates the Kai, but Sarovek is friends with Brishan and he's like the king of the Kai, but like the king doesn't know and he doesn't really meddle into Severek's things. And Anhuset is Brishan's cousin and second in command. She is a warrior. She is a whole badass, a whole queen. She literally takes no shit. I just love her personality. She is just so hardcore and such a warrior woman. Sarovek receives a letter from the brother of one of the characters from Eidolon who had gotten hurt, saying that he wants Sarovek to take his brother's body to the monks. Sarovek does this one because he does have some guilt over what had happened to the brother. He tells Brishan this, and Brishan decides to send Anhuset with Sarovek to represent the Kai people when they drop off the body of the brother to the monks. This is their journey, like to drop off this body. If you like road trip quest fantasy romance, you know, horseback riding, all of that, then definitely this one's a good one. So they go on this journey to drop off this body. Throughout this journey, they do make a stop at the castle from Eidolon, and they have like the whole demons problem, and they think that all of that has been solved, but there might be some leakage of the demons happening. So there's kind of like that issue, and then there's also like scuffles. There's like a little bit of a kidnapping one, and they kind of have to survive. They go on this island and they kind of have to survive and all of this is happening like on their journey. So there's that, and I will say this is definitely a slow burn. This book is basically like I think 400 and something pages, so because it's not split into two books, even though it's technically the same amount of pages as the first two books, this has been dragging for me a little bit, just because I think I burnt myself out on Radiance and Eidolon, and then because I jumped right into the Ippos King, I kind of just got into a reading slump, which is really sad to say. It's nothing about like the book, there's no fault in the book. I think just me mentally, it was too much, you know. So I'm actually 60 something of the way in already. I know, you guys, again, it is a slow burn. They do have amazing banter. There are scenes in here that I'm just eating up between Servrock and Huzet. The whole thing with the ribbon, and yes, I already passed the cave scene. It was so good. Grace Draven really does not let anything out, and again, if you love a slow burn fantasy romance, this is the one. I love how much Servrock like respects Huzet and respects her opinions and her knowledge, and it is just so beautiful to see. And I love seeing that Huzet is this tough woman. She knows that she's this tough woman, but she sometimes feels like she wants to be soft for Severick. And it's so good, you guys. Like, listen, I entered a reading slump all on my own. This book, there's nothing wrong with it, and I just kind of put it down for a while. I've read a couple of novellas in between then, but I also did stop reading because I wanted to give you guys this update before I finished the book. I'm really enjoying it. They are kind of, right now, at the part that I kind of left off on, they still are kind of dealing with the leftover magic that the dead body has, and like what that means. Also left off where the king actually makes an entrance into the monk territory, so we'll see what that means and what happens after that. But right now, with the whole relationship development, they are kind of in a good place right now, so the plot is really just picking up right now, and I want to see what the king is gonna do, because the king doesn't like Kai and what he's gonna say when he sees Anhuzet and all of that. I'm excited to see what happens, and so I wanted to give you guys this update before I finish this book. Like I said, I'm already like 60% of the way in, so I will say the live show was today, and I should have known that I wasn't gonna be able to make it because I am so busy on Saturdays. But at the same time, like I never got a YouTube notification, and my mind was just everywhere, and I completely forgot, and so I wasn't able to attend it like live. But I'll for sure go back and watch it and see what the girlies were talking about, and they probably all feel the same way I do, and I was giggling and screaming, and they probably were giggling and screaming. So I'm super excited to go back and rewatch that. And just in case if you guys read this and you guys want to see a live show on it, definitely I'll probably try and link it in the description box if I can. That's what I'm going to do, and that way you guys don't feel left out. You guys can watch the live show after you read this series. But yeah, you guys, I will talk to you guys after I finish the Ippos King. Hi friends, I'm here to give you guys the final update on the Ippos King by Grace Draven. So I did finish the Ippos King just now, and I'm going to end up giving it 4 stars. Right after I finished reading it, I gave it 5 stars because I couldn't think of anything wrong with the book. So I felt like I had to give it 5 stars, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4 stars because I truly did love the book, but I didn't feel that 5 star like I did with Radiance. So I think I'm gonna stick with 4 stars. I think 4 stars is still a very good rating. Maybe I'll go back and change it to a 5 star. I'm not sure. It's giving it's giving 5 stars, but also like my overall enjoyment of the book wasn't at a 5-star, but the book itself is a 5-star. But yeah, after the spot that I left off with the king showing up, there was this whole combat for trial that Anhuzet had to do, basically save Severek's life, and it was so good, very entertaining. We had our love declarations, which I really thought were really sweet, and I just overall had the best time. Definitely recommend you guys pick up this series. Definitely recommend Radiance and Eidolon, and of course the Ippos King. I think all 3 books are worth a read. I will say that my favorites are Radiance and Eidolon because I do love Brishan and Ildiko so much, but definitely Severek and Anhuzet are right up there with them. Thank you guys so much for watching this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and hearing my thoughts and opinions. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.